All right. So yeah, so I was talking about the OEM. So that, okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, Deep.
All right.
Yes.
All right. All right. All right. So yeah, so OEM, and we are talking about CCNA. What is CCNA? Why CCNA? So I told you the OEM. So Cisco, you can say Cisco is one of the oldest player in this industry, in the networking industry, and they are the ones who are the very initial OEM or the vendor in this industry. So I mean, initially all the devices, you could say the routers, switches, or networking devices, or the equipments, they manufactured a lot of equipments. They have done a lot of innovation in this domain, but I mean, over the years it's more like acquiring companies who do the innovation, and then they acquire them, and then they rename it and sell it. But initially the routing switching, it's kind of synonymous with Cisco. So I mean, now today is a different game. It's a different scenario. But earlier, I mean, in the early days, it was Cisco everywhere. So they came up with this program that how, I mean, let's produce some curriculum for our engineers, so people can learn, get hands on, and then can execute what they need to execute. So this, I mean, certifications, any certification from any vendor perspective, there are two aspects to it. For people like you, it's a certification. You learn, and then you know something, and then you use it, you sell it as a skill, and then you get the job. But for companies like Cisco, or any company, or any OEM, not even OEM, the other companies, it's also a, I would say, it's also a business. It's also a revenue. I mean, what they do is actually they popularize their program. So you purchase the program, you get certified, you pay for the training, you pay for the certification, and then you work on their technology. So it's a win-win situation. And I mean, but for the company, it's more like that you are paying. So they are actually, eventually they are doing their marketing through you. So people who are CCIs like me, they are the real promoters of their products. Because let's say I'm a CCI, so I know Cisco in and out. I'll recommend it at different places, different vendors, or to my customers, that this is the product you should buy. So coming back to the point, that why CCNA. So like I said, I mean, it's initially, it's Cisco was the kind of beginner, not actually the beginner, but you can say the kind of beginner. So the industry, evolved and revolved around Cisco, and then they came up with this program, and then later different vendors came in, but then it became very popular. I mean, the content, the curriculum, the material on the online, or on Google, everywhere it's available. So how do you start into networking? So you need to have certain, curriculum from where you can learn, and you can actually implement or execute what is needed in the industry. So CCNA is the program. What is, again, I can say it's kind of synonymous with your introduction to networking. It's the easiest program, or worldwide famous program, available everywhere, and the material is available everywhere. So that is the reason. I mean, there are other programs. There are vendors like Juniper Networks. There is a similar program which Juniper runs, is JNCIA. So that is Juniper Network certified, Internet Network Associate or something. So it's like CCNA, and then they run JNCIA. But I mean, they came later. It's not that popular. But I mean, if you know CCNA, the backend technology in any vendor, it's gonna be same. OSPF is gonna be same, or EIGRP, any routing protocol or any switching technology, it's gonna be same. But I mean, because they were the early players, so so they got popular, and that is how people start into the networks. Now in CCNA, you need to know a little history about CCNA. How does it came in? What is the current CCNA offers? What are the curriculum of current CCNA? So I mean, before getting into uh, this curriculum of current CCNA, I would like you to know the history, how it actually developed, or what were the older CCNA programs. This actually you need to know. The reason, I'll tell you why. Because the current CCNA program doesn't cover much in depth, and it's mostly like mix up of too many things, which you can't expect from a beginner. It's not in depth. So earlier, how CCNA was, how there were multiple domains in networking. So I'm going to tell you the multiple domains, what are there in networking, and then what were the different CCNA programs which were there earlier, which were quite actually good. They were in depth and they were actually more dedicated to a particular domain. But this new CCNA, I mean, I don't really like it. Not only me, people like me who are really have experience in this industry, nobody, like this particular current version of CCNA, because it doesn't cover many things. And one thing is, I mean, though training centers or people who train or sell this, I mean, who are in this business, they teach you as per the curriculum, but as per the industry, how it functions, what you do there are many things which a CCNA guy can never gonna do. I mean, is never gonna do. He's not he will not be allowed to do because of the experience and the skill. So I mean, the current CCNA program is, I would say, is not how things operate in industry. But anyways, let's see how CCNA got evolved. So these are some of the retired CCNA exams where I want to show you, so you can have. I mean, I think you can have a look around different CCNA programs. So I mean, you can go through this link, and there are other programs like CCDNA, which used to be like design associate, but I think let me go through the CCNA to show you how it started and what are the different you know uh, domains which were available earlier. Yeah. So all right, so this is some CCNA code 640-507. It started back. I mean, it retired back in 2007, and then they came up. I mean, if you look at the curriculum, you might not see the curriculum of the CCNA now on Cisco side, because you won't be able to see it because it's not there. It's retired. What you can see is the curriculum of the new CCNA. So these are the older CCNAs. What I wanted to show you actually is, let me come up. So you see here, yeah. Let me share my whiteboard first. Then I'll write a few things, talk about different domains, so you guys can understand what is the point which I'm trying to make to you. Let me know if you can see my whiteboard. It's loading. Let me know if it's visible to you. Yeah, let me know if you guys can see it. Guys, please let me know if the whiteboard is visible to you. But
no, sir, it's not visible yet.
No, not yet.
No.
One second. Okay, it's still not.
No, sir.
Not.
One sec. All right. Let me know if you can see it now. It's loading. Can you see it?
Yes, sir, loading.
You can see it? Can you?
Yeah.
Sir, it's just loading yet.
All right.
Sir, only
Yes, sir,
whiteboard
now
is visible.
Yeah, whiteboard only I'm talking.
Visible, sir.
Yeah. So I mean, what I wanted to say is, because current CCNA code, what is the current code? I forgot. Anyways, so CCNA or network in general is divided into several domains. So what we're gonna talk, or what we are gonna learn at the moment is routing switching. Okay, is the routing and switching basically. All right. So that's one part. So that is where your basic fundamentals or your introduction to networking happens. So this is the main thing, or this is the program. This is the actual program, what people used to call CCNA earlier, without saying CCNA RNS. So CCNA earlier, prior to this version, when somebody used to say CCNA, it means CCNA routing switching. Okay. And then there is something called as security, and then wireless. Okay. And then data center. These all are different domains in networking. Okay. And then what used to be voice earlier, and now they call it voice or video. Now it's called as collaboration. So that's another domain. And then service provider. Service provider is basically, you can think of it as, what your internet service provider does. So that's their side. It's huge. It's very huge. And there used to be storage. Later they merged it with data center. So the data center was introduced like 7-8 years ago. So storage got merged with data center. So these are the few domains. And now they're what they call routing switching as enterprise. I mean, this is Cisco terminology. Enterprise infrastructure. This is the new name. What they call as routing switching. They call it is now enterprise infrastructure. So we'll talk about what do we mean by enterprise. We'll come to know about that. And wireless, what they call is enterprise wireless. Okay. So what I was trying to say, or what I'm trying to trying to make a point here is CCNA. What I'm going to teach you, I'm going to also teach you what's there in the new curriculum. What we want to focus is on routing switching. So there are major our major focus would be on this, but then there are topics which are, somebody is not on mute, please unmute yourself. So I mean, we will touch on the new topics, so you'll get an idea that what those new topics means, but then you will not get to work on those things. I mean, you'll come to know eventually that how actually things happen in this industry. After CCNA, what kind of job you will get, how an engineer works in industry, what are the different roles, different phases. Then you will realize that what is the point I'm trying to make today. Okay. So yeah, so this is the CCNA. When we used to say CCNA, and this was the actually CCNA, routing switching, where I think my whiteboard is visible to you guys. Somebody
Yes, sir,
check.
that is visible, but
Yes, sir.
they have to zoom in and zoom out. Who can't see?
You can't see.
Yes, sir, they have to zoom in and zoom out to see all the
1
contents.
second. So what I'm gonna do is, then I'm not gonna use whiteboard. I'm gonna share my screen, and then probably I'll write on a different kind of board if you can see it, because I mean, then there is no point if it's better now. Should be better now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Or do you still have to zoom in or zoom out?
No, sir, it is there.
No, sir.
All right. So what I was saying is, this is the main CCNA, what you're going to learn and what you need actually at this moment. And after doing this, there are different paths which you can follow. You can go into security, you can go into any other domain. So that is how it progresses. So routing and switching is the foundation of everything in the networking. So if you want to get into security, you have to learn routing switching. If you want to get into wireless, you have to learn routing switching. So this is the basis. This is the foundation of everything. Without this, you are not gonna, I mean, this is like ABC, this is like ABC or grammar. If you want to learn English, you have to start with ABC. So I mean, if you want to work on data center technology or voice or wireless, you need to know the basics. So first you learn routing switching, and then you can get into any particular domain. All domains are amazing. My particular favorite is security. I'll tell you over the course why and why this is an amazing domain, but let's focus on routing switching. But in the new domain, they talk about routing switching, but then there are, again, like I said earlier, this training or certification for you, it's a certification and curriculum to learn something. But then for companies, OEMs, it's also a revenue. So through these certification changes, they promote their technology. So there are certain kind of promotions what they have done in the new CCNA. that technically or as per the industry standard for a beginner doesn't make sense, but then they want you to, get yourself familiar with those technologies. So you will try to learn them, and then eventually you will work on them, and eventually you're gonna promote it. So that's another side. So we're gonna focus on routing switching, the main CCNA. So you can go on, so let's go on Cisco website. Let me go to Cisco. So this is, I think it's visible to you. Can you see Cisco website? I mean, what I'm sharing on my screen, it should be visible to you, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all right. So let's go to cisco.com. Let's go to product and cert report. No, learn. So training and certifications. All right, certifications and exams. So you see now they have come up with the CCNA, and then again a cyber ops or enterprise. Don't focus on that. What I wanted to show you is what different programs they have. I mean, I'm just giving you an idea about what certain kind of program, what they are running, so this is the categorization of Cisco. What they have done is a different kind of categorization. I mean, entry level of certification, or associate level of certification, specialist, professional, expert. So this you don't need. This is very basic. And constantly, I forgot to mention one point. I mean, if you guys are here for this training, I think at least you understand basics about basics of I won't say network, but let's say a computer, the component of the computer, right? What is NIC card, RAM, memory, hard drive, all those stuff. So that is, I mean you learn a lot in this, but you don't really need to pursue this. You can because you guys come from a background where I expect everyone, this is not needed. So you can start from here. And then these specialists, they are not very old, like 7-8 year olds. Earlier it used to be associate and professional and then expert. So it's like CCNA and then CCNP and then CCI, and then there is another thing called as CCD, which is design expert. There are very few people who have done it. And then there is another something called as CCAR, Cisco Certified Architect. So you don't need to go on this level. A CCI is I am a CCI student, so that's not the reason I'm saying, but a CCI is someone who is SME in that particular domain. So it is a huge thing to have, but not at the moment. You don't need to think about it. So there are, what I was trying to say is, you have a look on the certifications, what kind of certifications they have. You see entry level associate, now there is only single CCNA. There used to be many earlier, and then there are CCNP programs, and then there are CCIE programs. So what you want to focus is CCNA. The code is, I guess, here, okay, 201 to 200 301. So let's go through exam topics as well. We can, but let's talk about let's say when I say CCNA, let's talk about other programs like Juniper have their JNCIA. And I think Huawei used to have similar certain years ago, but I think it's no more there. So Juniper is another vendor, which offer their entry level of certification, but you don't have to pursue that. If you know CCNA, you can work on Juniper. It's just a different sort of command line, which they follow. It's more like Linux based. I mean, backend kernel in any device is always Linux, but it's just the command line. But working on the devices these days, what you're gonna see is most of the devices you're gonna work or learn, most of the things are gonna be GUI based as you progress further in your career. Because the idea is an engineer cannot learn multiple CLIs, while GUI, if you don't know, you can go through the GUI and you can explore stuff. But in CLI, if you don't know the commands, you can't really do anything. But CLI is important. Come on, CLI basic. Okay, so sorry. So what CLI is command line interface. Okay, so something, what, let's say command prompt, what you get in your Windows PC, you put certain commands and then you execute certain things. So that is command line interface, basically interface. It's a command line input, what you do. And GUI, there might be people who might not be knowing, so that's the reason I'm highlighting this, is graphical user interface. Okay, So this is what we are seeing on screen. It's a graphical interface, right? So GUI is what the GUI where you can go through. I mean, you can visualize things and you can explore and do. But command line is command line. So these are the vendors. I mean, these are the two major vendors. There are many. I mean, there are certain certifications which HP, HP also have certain kind of certifications, but you don't need to do anything about it. The reason why I'm telling you all these things in a CCNA program, I'm just giving you the familiarity with the industry. What are the things which are there? Okay, and yeah. So I mean, now, I mean, once you're done with your CCNA, we are going to talk about that further. That what kind of job actually you can get, what you will get to work on, and what would be your options to progress your career further. So we'll speak about those things later during the course. And now let's talk about what we're going to study in this course. So okay, uh, let me go through this, and then we'll talk on the basis of this particular curriculum in the latest CCNA. But then we also gonna follow, I think, the earlier CCNA. This is CCNA 20301, and I think the last program what Cisco was running until it as, I mean, yeah, this was the last program what was okay. This retired on February 2020. So this was the time until when the programs were segregated, at least on CCNA level. So this was the last CCNA. So we're gonna follow stuff from this, because this is core. I won't say core, but this is routing switching. Core comes when you go on higher level in depth. But we are gonna cover topics from this, but also not. I mean, not only from this, but also from this. So what I'm gonna trying to say here. So let's say what we're gonna or maybe I can write, or you can have a note. I don't have any PPTs which I prepared for this training. No, I didn't do that. So I mean, because the idea of the training is totally real time. So I don't get time to prepare the PPT, because I am not a professional trainer, or I don't work at any training center. So I don't do that stuff. I mean, and I don't even have time to do that stuff. So what I'm going to teach is a topic by topic, and then that's how we will follow. So yeah, so I mean, maybe I can write a few things, and you can make a note, or we will follow what is here, or I mean, mix of everything. But why I'm saying that, at least you will get an idea what we're gonna do. Okay. So yeah, so what we're gonna do is, maybe I'll write a basic of or rather than writing, maybe I can I can do it faster if I keep on speaking, or if you guys want to kind of make a note of the topics what we're gonna cover, maybe I can write it up here. So it's up to you. Do you want me to write down what we're gonna cover, or do you want me to just go through it verbally, guys? Hello?
Sir, go through verbally because it will.
Yeah, it will take time.
Yes, exactly, sir.
Yeah, all right. Guys, 1 second. Somebody is unable to join the class. All right, so what we're gonna learn is a basic networking concept, the network devices, what kind of devices are there, and again, what we spoke about CCNA or Cisco in general, what this certification is all about, and what would be your career paths. We're going to talk about TCP/IP addressing. We're going to talk about OSI model. We are going to talk about private and public IPs. We are going to talk about LAN, how a LAN connectivity works, or what is the idea of LAN. Then we are going to talk about the devices, I mean, your introduction to Cisco routers, the command line interface, what are the different modes which are available, in the routers. And one thing, I mean, this training or anything it's gonna be, uh, lab based. We're gonna do practicals. And let me tell you, let me stress on this, any learning, whatever you do, is is more of a practice. You learn, you practice, practice, practice. So as much you practice, as much as you're gonna learn. I mean, whatever I can say, I tell you in theory is not very useful until and unless you do the labs. Okay, so labs are very important. I mean, it will, you'll come to know. I mean, let's say I'm teaching you something, you are getting it, you feel like I'm getting everything, but if you don't practice, on a second day or on a third day, you will feel like I did not learn anything. So that is what happens with me, I mean, happened with me. So when I was doing my networking beginning, and when I was doing learning this stuff, what I did is, I kept on doing the classes, kept on doing the theory for 3 4 months. I did not, do any kind of lab. And then after 4 months, when I did, until, I mean, I think I didn't share my journey. But anyway, I mean, what I wanted to share. But I mean, the idea is, if you don't do lab practices, it's useless. So, okay, so what, I mean, then what we're gonna come to is, what is WAN, and what are the, what is the idea behind WAN? IP addressing on Cisco routers, lab around IP addressing, subnetting, VLSM, variable left subnet mask, and the WAN technologies. What are the different things in subnetting? What is VLS, classless, or classful. So those kind of things we are going to learn in subnetting, routing, and then again, what different kind of routings are there, static, dynamic, and then what is default routing, dynamic routing, classful, classless, and then there are different kind of routing protocols. So there are, in CCNA they usually talk about RIP, RAP, OSPF, EIGRP, BGP, but you don't need to learn everything by heart. I'll tell you what is used in real time, and what are the things they are just in the books since ages, but they are dead. Okay, so you don't have to stress on those topics. It's, they are, some certain things are absolutely dead. I'll just brief you on those. We will not go in depth on those things. They are absolutely dead. And then dynamic routing, like I said, and then, yeah, different things under those dynamic routing protocols, what we're going to do. And then we will get into switching. Okay, we will talk about VLAN, what are the virtual LAN, what is trunking, what is DTP, inter-VLAN routing, how you can communicate from one place to another. I mean, how actually, so we will use real-time analogy, then it will be very easy to understand. I mean, the life of a packet, when I'm speaking something, this, how this audio is reaching to you. So this is going in the form of packet, and then how everything is happening at each hop, how this is going from LAN to WAN to your place. So we will use real-time analogies, because I mean, my personal experience, or my idea is, if you correlate any technology with real-time scenario, you are not gonna forget it. I mean, all the technologies, I mean, most of the technologies in this world are, in a way, a replication of what you see in our life, in our daily life. Whether it's routing, switching, or anything. I mean, or even artificial intelligence. If you have read something about artificial intelligence, then you will come to know that how a human brain works, and what they did to bring it in a form of technology. So the idea is, the real-time analogies, they are going to help. Okay, so we are going to talk about the switching. Switching is very important, and people focus a lot on routing. Routing is important, but it's almost 90% switching in real time. So when I say switching, what you might be knowing at the moment is layer 2 switching. But what utilize in real time is layer 3 switching, which is basically routing or routing stuff on switches. So we'll come to know. I mean, when I'm saying layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, you might, a few of you might not be getting it at the moment, but when we'll start, you will come to know. I mean, when we do that OSI model, at that time you'll come to know that what does it mean. And then we will talk about different kind of VLANs, what are they. We will talk about spanning tree protocols, and then ether channels, stuff like that, natting, patting, a little about, yeah, I mean, ACLs, IPv6. I'll teach you, but you don't have to, put your brain through it too much. In my 12 years of career, I did IPv6 in a single project till now in 12 years. It's there since ages, but the implementation is still, not that wide. It's getting implemented. I mean, when I was 12 years back, when I was like you, when I was doing my CCNA, the same line was said to me by my trainer. It's it's not that popular. Still people are doing it, that kind of stuff. But still, it's not very popular. I mean, today it's a different game. But I mean, once you get in those kind of things or places or work, you get to work on it. So I worked on a very huge data center migration. It was a amazing, I mean, a very huge project. So there I got to work on IPv6, but it's not an everyday thing until now. So yeah, so we are gonna work on these stuff. Now let's go via this curriculum. And so yeah, routers layer 2, layer 3. We're gonna talk. See, this is the problem. They are putting, okay, it's components. So we can talk about what is the firewall, what is the IPS, what are the access points, what are the controllers. Now these kind of stuff, I mean, access points is fine, but controllers, DNAC and WLC for a beginner, it's ridiculous. I mean, when the guy doesn't understand basics of routing or switching, they are introducing you to controllers. This is wireless stuff basically. Okay, endpoint servers. So terminology we'll come to know. We'll talk about it, at least from the terminology perspective, but we are not going in depth. Like I said, I'm gonna say it again. We are gonna talk what we are gonna do in real time and what we need at the moment. Okay. And then, yeah, this is good. A network topology architecture, what is 3-tier, what is 2-tier, what is a spine and leaf. Again, this is early introduction to advanced thing. When it's okay, it's I mean, you need to know it. So what, I mean, these kind of stuff. So this is fine. And then what kind of cabling? Yeah, we're going to talk about cablings. What kind of cablings, what is the color coding, what kind of cable you connect from one device to another device. So that's we're gonna talk about. And then, yeah, interfaces, cable issues, yeah, collisions and alerts. I mean, some of you might have studied in maybe electronics. What is these duplex, half duplex, full duplex? So that is there. TCP, UDP. We're gonna go through it. IPv4, yes. IPv4. What is private IPv4? So the LAN. What is the private range of IPs? We're gonna talk about that. IPv6, of course. We'll talk about IPv6, like I said, but not in depth. Verify IP parameter of client OS. This is, I mean, that's the reason I was saying this CCNA is not very amazing. And this is again basic stuff, VRF and all. Man, this is not needed at CCNA level. If somebody, but anyway, we'll talk about it. Network access, VLAN trunk, again, we talk about it. Yeah, this is what we're gonna talk about: Ether channel, LACP, root port, STP, and stuff. Okay, architecture of this comes in, wireless. Anyway, we'll talk about it. And then access components, access connection, different kind of access, telnet, SSH, HTTP, TCAX, radius. These are authentication protocols. So yeah, so we are going to talk about this. And then, okay, QoS, WLAN creation. Again, this is ridiculous. I mean, you can't really focus on these things in CCNA. Anyway, we'll speak about it, but not in depth. What is really useful, what is there at your level, what you should learn. I'm saying it again and again. That's what we're gonna learn more. IP connectivity, this is again the same thing, what we just talked about. So you can go through the syllabus if you want to. If you don't want to, don't stress about it. We're going to focus on the topics which I highlighted. You see, NAT and all these are pretty common. These are the basics of networking. We're going to talk about each and everything. So yeah, now they are introducing you to security fundamentals. Wow. Threat vulnerabilities and all. I mean, if you are already into this background, it's easy to understand. It has no correlation to networking. I mean, if you know networking, it's better to understand. Yeah. So yeah, so I mean, we're going to talk about all these things. Automation and programmability. Again, this is ridiculous at a CCNA level. Somebody who doesn't know basics, how can they understand what they need to automate or what they need to bring in programming for? So this comes at a very higher level. This is basically there is there's something, if you know DevOps or DevNet, this is that kind of stuff. This is actually that domain. Where, so basically these days, I mean, not at the moment for you, but networking on a higher level, on a very higher level, or going in the future, is not going to be traditional networking how it happens today to a certain level. It doesn't mean everything is happening on this level at the moment, but it's like using programmability into networking, and that is what but don't think too much about it. Yeah, Ankit, you gonna you need to speak? Yeah, please go ahead.
So just want to ask you that these topics of automation and programmability, will they come in CCN exam or not?
Okay, so we're gonna talk about the CCNA exam. Thanks for highlighting. Guys, I am not in a favor to suggest you to go for a CCNA exam, first of all. Okay, so some of you might be under the uh, impression or might be thinking that after doing the CCNA, I mean, the idea of doing this course for everyone is different. Some of you want to switch their domain from certain domain to networking. Some of you are just a beginner. Some of you have already done it and they are revising it, like we said earlier. But being in this industry for 12 years, I never say to anyone that you should appear for CCN exam. Thanks, Ankit, that you highlighted it. Otherwise, I mean, not today, but I would have spoken about it any other day. The reason, again, CCNA, like I said, it's the ABC of networking. So if you don't know it, if you don't know ABC, you can't speak, you can't write English, right? And the reality is, at least, I mean, first I'll speak from India perspective, then from global perspective. In India today, I mean, CCNA, people say do CCNA, CCNA certification. This is the cost. You know what is the cost of this exam? First of all, $300, and then 18% GST. I'm talking from Indian perspective. Basically, what GST is Indian kind of Indian sort of tax. So 18%. So that is something around $354. So if you put $354 and if you prepare for this exam, even if you get certified, the validity is, I think it's 2 year, or I think now it's 3 years these days. But that certification is not gonna give you anything in terms of if you are expecting that I'm gonna put it in my resume, I'm a CCNA certified engineer, and that will make any difference. No, it's not gonna make any difference. Okay, there are certain very few openings, very few criterias wherein a few client, a few customers, or they look for certified engineers. They say we need CCNA certified engineers, but those are usually kind of jobs or projects. It's kind of a compliance requirement. For example, let's say you are working at Cisco, okay, and what happens, you're going to work on a banking project for some bank, and that bank says, I mean, it's a compliance thing. You at the moment you don't know what is compliance. Do a research on your level that what is compliance. So basically this is a mandatory check. This is the guideline that the engineer which is going to work on our project, if that engineer says that if that engineer has the certificate, that means he's a certified engineer, he has the skills. In reality, he might be full of garbage. He doesn't know anything. He did some proxy or whatever, and he got the certification. But just for that checkbox to be ticked, he's fulfilling that compliance. So in that kind of, and those kind of, I mean, this is the actually the reasoning behind why people, at times hire or look for people with certification. I mean, on a CCNA level, but you're not looking for those specific requirements. And I'm saying, do not waste your $354 in taking this exam. It's not useful. Learn everything thoroughly, and without having that CCNA, logo in your resume, it's still the thing. It's still the same thing. Let me tell you one more thing. I mean, some of you might be thinking that, if we are not CCNA, nobody's read through your entire resume line by line. Then how will they come to know how? And I mean, in the shortlisting, they might be shortlisting somebody who have that CCNA logo in their resume, but not you, because you have these skills, but you don't have the certification. But the guy doesn't have these skills, but he has the logo. So in the very first screening, he got selected. So you got filtered out. So what you can do once you are good in your CCNA, you think, I'm good. Very good. I'm good at CCNA. Let's say I'm your interviewer. I'm at Cisco. I'm hiring for my team, and I got your resume. I see, okay, this is the initial screening what HR did, and then profile came to me. Okay, CCNA. Then I'm gonna see what. Then when it come to my level, I'm gonna see what is in your resume. Okay, this guy knows this. This is what it has. This is what he or she has mentioned in his resume. Then I'm going to judge you on the basis of what you have mentioned in your resume, rather than not on the basis of what you have, that logo, and there are people who doesn't know anything. They just put the logo. I mean, guys, another feedback, because this reminded me of another point. I'll come to that. I mean, people who sent me emails for this course, most of the people, what I felt is they don't have the right, email writing skills, or how you actually communicate with people. What is more important is how you communicate, rather than the technical skills. Like I said in the beginning, 80% of stuff is how you communicate with people, because at the end of the day, you are going to interact with people at your workplace, or customers, or anyone. The skills comes, at a very later stage. So the point is, what I was trying to say is, if you don't have this, I mean, your resume came to me, and if I say CCNA, but there is nothing in the resume, I see this guy doesn't know anything. So he joined some training center, did some CCNA by hook and crook, and then this CCNA come to me, this resume came to me. I'll assess him immediately, and in 2 questions I'll come to know that what he knows. Another guy, let's say Ankit, he has done CCNA, but he's not certified, but he's very smart. What he's done is, for the initial screening through HR, what he did, he has written everything technical in his resume, whatever he has learned through his CCNA training or self-study. But what he did is, he put a CCNA logo in the resume. Again, I mean, I should not be talking this officially, but this is not something very illegal. So what you can do is, put that CCNA logo. Let's say if you're going on only on the basis of CCNA, you got shortlisted, and then I'm interviewing you, and I say, okay, Ankit, you are a CCNA certified. So at that moment, Ankit can say, no, sir, I'm not CCNA certified, but I know I have learned CCNA. You can assess me on the basis of what is there in CCNA, but I'm not certified. But just for the initial assessment through the screening process, I put it in my resume. If the project demands me to be a CCNA, I will be a CCNA before getting on board, before joining Cisco, whatever the company. So that makes an impression that guy, at least he's smart. He knows his stuff. Not smart in that way, but then I'm going to assess you on the basis of what you have put in your resume. And if I find you good, then that would be a major positive point about you, that he's smart. CCNA is not needed in this project, so he saved his money, but he knows the stuff. You are hired. But somebody who has that CCNA logo and doesn't know shit, you're gone. So I mean, that again, the whole idea of saying all this is you don't need CCNA certification for yourself. Don't waste that money. Use that money to learn something new. Okay, the certification has no value. There are certifications which you do or which you pursue are going to help you. There are higher certifications. If you pursue those certifications, then it actually give you some value. Okay, initial, this is the criteria, senior levels of certification. You are the first one to get shortlisted through that initial screening. And then I'm going to again assess you on the basis of your technical skills. But that initial screening, you will be ahead of others. So that comes at a later experience stage. So I'll tell you what are the other certifications which you can pursue at your level, not CCNA, which are cheaper, which are, you can say, advanced technology. If you learn and do that, it's obvious that I mean, if I'm speaking in English, do I need to say that I know ABC? No, it's obvious, right? I'm speaking, I know the skills, I know the language, right? So I know the basics. That is the reason I'm speaking. I'm able to speak, right? So that's the whole logic. So I mean, Ankit, your point around automation and programmability, you can learn if you have your interest in, you know, a little in programming, you know, things. What are, this is basically around what are the different uh, you know, kind of libraries or modules which are available. There are different kind of, I mean, if you guys, if any one of you know a bit around Python, then there are different kind of, or Python or JSON, there are different kind of libraries or module which are there, which are used in automation. So yeah, so basically we'll talk, maybe you guys remind me later during this course. So we will talk about something called as SDN. We will talk about something called as SD-WAN. So this is not part of CCNA, but because this is here, I'll speak a little about these things in the course. So basically what it is software defined networking. And what is this is software defined WAN. Okay. So these are, you know, things in demand. These are advanced technologies, not your level, of course not. I mean, not even somebody who have 2 years of experience, 3 years of experience, not your on your level. So what Cisco is trying to do here is, this is nothing but, you know, introduction to their stuff. So they are putting it in your head, and then you think about it, you want to pursue DevNet. There is another program called CCNA DevNet, right? So in that direction. So, I mean, this is today's stuff on a senior level, but you don't need it your own level. I mean, you don't need it at your level. So yeah, we'll talk about it, but not in depth, not needed. I mean, even if I teach you in depth, if you don't, any technology I teach you, any technology, if you're not using it at your work, you're gonna forget it within few days. What happens? I mean, when I was early in my career, or still, I mean, I don't need or I don't do trainings. I am talking about training programs. What, let's say you are working for Cisco. So Cisco will come up with certain program. Okay, these are the trainings which we have for our employees. Not Cisco, because Cisco is going to do Cisco specific program. Let's say you're working for Accenture. Okay, so it's a service-based company. Somebody is working on network, somebody is working on network security, somebody is working on data center, somebody is working on cyber. So there are different kind of trainings. Let's say network guys came over, oh, we are doing F5 training. Who is interested? We are training, we are doing, let's say firewall training. Data center, we are doing Nexus training. Cyber, we are doing SIEM training. Okay, this training happens. These are basically for employees to upskill, so they can do, you know, better stuff. But these trainings are usually, there are two regions behind them. One is you're going to get, your company is going to get some project where they need resources with F5 skills. If they don't have, they'll upskill their employees. Or there's something called as proactive learning, where they are training their employees to upskill themselves, so they become market ready. And then if any project comes in, they already have the skills, they don't have to hire the resources. So what happens then? You get nominated for these trainings, but then what happens? Okay, I got F5 training, there is no project. After 5 days, whatever happened in F5 training, it's gone from my head. Okay, I don't remember a single stuff. So it happens. So the idea is don't run behind everything. It's not gonna be useful. Run behind the stuff, what you wanna do on a daily basis, what is necessary, what is mandatory. If you learn, so again, another analogy. If you have a car, if you have a mobile, what you use is 10% of it. Okay, the capability or whatever the features it is having. But from a seller perspective, what you purchase, though you know that I'm gonna use, let's say, any OnePlus phone, expensive 50, 60, 70,000 phone, but what are you gonna use for? Somebody's gonna just use it for camera, WhatsApp, browser, internet, mails, that's all. Certain people might be doing certain things. Certain people might be using camera on a level where they are, doing videography or photography with this kind of great camera, but that's not the application for everyone. You are using, let's say, BMW, a hell lot of feature, but you are using just 10 features. But then the vendor, when the company is selling it, they are saying we have these many things. So the customer, the business runs that way, right? That okay, these are the offerings, but do you really gonna are you gonna really use all those capabilities or features? No, it's never happens. But these are just the sale point for people. Okay. So the idea was don't run behind everything. So that is where I come in to help you, that what is needed, what is relevant, what is absolutely irrelevant or dead. There are technologies in the curriculum which are dead, which you don't need to study, and what you need to know or understand from introduction perspective. So if with certain knowledge, if you come to me, what is needed for this particular job role I'm hiring you for is good. But when you know about certain things just on an introduction level, then I get an impression that Salim is a great guy. He knows his stuff, but he's also aware about what is coming next. What are the advanced thing in this domain? So that is all you achieve by knowing. If you don't know, then what would be your impression to me? The guy know little about this. He doesn't have much experience or knowledge, but you have the knowledge of what I need plus awareness about what is happening around. So that's helpful in that sense. Okay. So yeah, so this is what we're going to study in terms of curriculum. All right. Any questions, any points?
sir.
I mean, it's been a while. I kept on speaking, but nobody had any question or queries. Any question, guys? No? So far, so good. Yeah.
So far, so good.
All right. All right. So now talking about the schedule, what kind of schedule we are going to follow? So, I mean, I'm a working professional, so we are not going to do it 7 days a week. Okay. What we're going to do is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay. And we are going to do is 9 to 12, 3 hours a day, if that is okay with everyone. I mean, 3 hours a day is okay. We will take like some break of like 10-15 minutes. We'll run for 1.5 hour or maybe an hour 15 minutes, take a break of 10-15 minutes, have your tea, coffee, whatever, and then second session. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, what we're gonna do, 3 hours a day. All right. So it will be like 2.5 hour or 2 hour 45 minutes, something like that. All right. So from tomorrow onwards, we're gonna start the real stuff and what you need to learn, what we're gonna cover, and next week we will do Saturday and Sunday, not Friday. In the next week, I have something planned on. I mean, I have a meeting on Friday, so we cannot do on Friday. But the following week, we're gonna do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All right, 9 to 12. So this is 9 to 12 IST. It's good for everyone, or do you think any issues with the timing of the schedule?
Are we talking about 9 to 12, 9 a.m. IST time, or is it a PM?
No, it's PM, 9 p.m. to 12 a.m.
So I am in CST time, so that's the time that I do work, and I won't be able to attend for Friday though.
Okay. Then yeah, CST. You're based in US?
Yeah, that is right. I'm in US, Texas.
Texas. Okay, you are in Texas. Okay. Then I think what to do. I
Sir,
mean,
she can get the recorded lectures as well, sir.
that's a good suggestion. We can do that. Yeah. Okay, Friday. So I mean, Nirmal, are you working? It's not work from home for you, or do you have to go
It
to the
is,
office?
it is work from home, and I will able to join the meeting. That will be okay. But at the same time, I won't be able to interact the meeting that much since I have to
I
work for my
understand.
own work.
I understand. Okay. So I mean, I think, I think you joined late or what? So I mean, are you from the same industry, or are you looking for a different, so, or maybe we can talk later, not right now.
Sounds good.
All right. So yeah,
Sir, I have a question, sir.
yeah.
Sir, is this training enough for me to get started in cybersecurity as a cybersecurity, especially security engineers need the skill of networking as well? Sir, is this enough for me to get started with that?
So your question is that, is it enough for you to get into cybersecurity?
Yes, sir.
No, this is the first step. Not really enough. You have to, you have to learn a lot of things.
Sir,
And not just,
I just say in networking, is this enough for me in to study about networking? Sir?
I mean, if you really want to get into 100% cyber, not into network security, let me tell you one thing, just to, cyber is a bigger umbrella, okay? And network security is a part of it,
Yes, sir.
okay? All right.
Yes,
But
sir.
cyber, there are many things. I mean, people at your level, some of you might be understanding, but enterprise cybersecurity is different. What people say in general cybersecurity, people think about hacking and stuff,
Yes,
but
sir.
enterprise cybersecurity is a different stuff. Okay, a hell
Yes.
lot of things are there. So I mean, so the biggest umbrella is infosec,
Yes,
then
sir.
cybersec, then the
Yeah.
network security. Okay. So, I mean, if you are into network security, you can always get into cyber, you can always get into net and infosec. That is the beauty of network security. Okay. But if
Okay.
you are if you are into infosec only, you cannot, it's not easy for you to get into network security or into cyber. So if you follow this route, it's easier for you. So, I mean, Sakir, I think you asked this question. So if you want to get into cyber, there are a
Yes.
hell lot of things which you need to learn to be on that level. CCNA is going to help you. I mean, anyone in the industry, need to have basics of networking skills.
Yes,
That
sir.
is needed. Even if you are into networking or cyber, even if you are a developer, people in development at a later stage get to work with different teams, where they interact basically with overall infrastructure team. They struggle.
Yes.
They don't know stuff of networking or basics of networking. So I mean, it's everything is correlated. I mean, people work collaboratively in the industry at different phases. But I mean, I'm not gonna stress much on that, because it's again, you won't get what I'm trying to say 100%. So yeah, so I mean, Sakit, answer to your question is, it's essential, but it's not everything. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you learn it, then there are various other things which you need to learn. Maybe we can talk later, or maybe you can speak to me later, that what are the things
Oh, okay,
which
sir.
you can learn. Okay, so Vishnu is asking, can you do weekdays 3 hours and weekends 3 hours and weekdays 1 hour? No, I think Vishnu, the problem is I can't do on weekdays is because I work with global customers. So there are times when I would be working with US based customers. There would be times when I would be talking to European customers, and there are times when I also work with APAC customers. So I mean, weekdays it's difficult. I mean, if I say let's say 1 hour in a weekday time, someday I might be having a meeting, and then if I schedule, it's not good for people. They have planned that they are gonna attend this training, but then on the last moment, if I say that, guys, I have a training, we can't do it today, then it doesn't make sense. Okay, so that's the idea. So that's the prerequisite. I mean, so the prerequisite about the schedule. Now, lab material or lab. So we're gonna That's right. That's right, Elman. That is what we're gonna do. That would be the schedule. So about the lab, we will be using certain tools. One of them for initial, there would be a packet tracer. So okay. So what I need from you guys is a good laptop. Okay, Salim, you're gonna say something? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, I want to know that with CCNA basic, can we go for system administrator?
You can, but system admin doesn't really need a CCNA also. You see, system admin is
Okay,
more
sir.
of a Windows kind of a guy.
Okay, sir.
And I don't advise you to go for a system admin kind of role. The
Okay,
reason
sir.
is
Sure.
people with in system admin kind of role or service desk or help desk, they get stuck in those jobs. So I'll advise, give some 3-4 months to your training, learn a few stuff. You will end up in a job that will give you a better career. So there is a difference. I again say to people, there is a difference between a job and a career. A job at initial stage can give you earning, but if you get into a bad job, I mean jobs like system admin or service desk, it's not good for you, not good for you. I mean, people from those jobs, then again what they do, they try to learn, they try to join somewhere, and then they try to get into mainstream jobs. So when I say mainstream, these kind of jobs, I mean everything has its own significance, but then what matters to is a better profile, a better job growth, and of course better money. At the end of the day, it's the money what you're getting for a particular job. So yeah, so I mean, you can, but then CCNA is also not needed for system admin. I mean, for those kind of job roles, the JD says you good to have CCNA, good to have MCSE or Windows knowledge, but you are never going to utilize your CCNA skills in a system admin role. No. So I'll advise, don't even think about it. Think of a
Sure,
mainstream.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Sure.
All right. So yeah, so lab, how we're gonna do labs, what we're gonna do. So you need a laptop, a good laptop, because I mean, if you have a good laptop, that's good. If you don't, please get one for yourself. The reason, I mean, at a CCNA level, one intermediate job, an intermediate level of laptop can help. I mean, laptop with some 4 GB, not 4 GB, but a minimum of 8 GB would be sufficient requirement. But I would advise, if you have a 32 GB laptop with i7, that would be more helpful, because when you would be learning further things, advanced topics, those labs required heavy machines. Okay, and we are not gonna stuck on the traditional packet tracer. It's an old school thing. There used to be earlier, I mean it's still there. There is another simulator called GNF3. We are not going to use it. Packet tracer we're going to use for a very initial days. The reason, because you are an absolute beginner, so you need to know how things work. Right, somebody is not on mute, please mute yourself, guys. If you don't have anything to say, please mute yourself. Okay, so yeah, packet tracer for a few days, and then we are going to use EVNG. There's something called as EVNG. So what you want to do, what is the prerequisite for you guys? Get a laptop, install packet tracer. You do Google, you will find a packet tracer. So install packet tracer in a laptop. VMware workstation you need to install. Any version above 15 will do. Okay. So these are the two things which you need to install in your laptop. Then I'll tell you how to set up the labs using EVNG later at a stage when we need it. And rest of the labs could be done on EVNG, not on packet tracer. Packet tracer, like I said, it's gonna be useful in the beginning when you need to develop this understanding, how things works on an initial level. Then we will switch to EVNG. So this is what you need in terms of what we call your hardware requirement for this trade. Okay, so this would be a kind of prerequisite for you. Yeah, lab and material. You see, I'm not a training center, so I don't have any dedicated manuals designed by me or prepared by me. I have the stuff. I'll share the stuff. I'll share the guides. I'll share the workbooks, what I have. Again, those would be from here and there, different sources. But at the end of the day, what we need is the learning. Okay. So those are not something branded or prepared by me. But yeah, you will get the material. Okay. The relevant material. Having 10 different books doesn't make any sense. When I was doing CCI, I was having like 1 TB of data, but I might not have consumed like 10 GB also. So don't ask for multiple books. I'll tell you some good books, follow those books, and yeah, with one good book, you're good to go. You don't need to, and nobody actually these days prefer too much from the book. Where people are, more used to go through videos and stuff. Okay, yeah, so I think, so I think that's the initial prerequisite what we need for this training. Yeah, one feedback I have, what I was talking in the beginning. One thing is, when I asked people to send me emails to register for this particular training, what people did is subject line resume, they attached resume, sent. There is no introduction. Guys, I'm saying it again and again. People who are working, people who have certain kind of work experience, I expect from those people to follow those email writing etiquettes. But I mean 99% people did not write an email how it should be written. Again, I'm saying it again and again. The most important thing is how you communicate with people, whether it's verbal or written, doesn't matter. I mean, technical skills come at a later stage. So I mean, people, I'll share a format tomorrow. So people who are in this training or who are going to continue further, I need your details in a specific format. The reason why I'm asking for detail, I need to understand my audience, what kind of people I'm training, what background. If there are people from telecom background, there are people from different background, there are freshers. There are freshers who got graduated but they don't have job. There are freshers. There are people who are still, undergraduates. So I need to know what kind of people I'm training, because I mean I would be having different sort of recommendations or guidance for people in telecom background. I would be having different recommendation for people who are graduate but they don't have any job. I will be having different guidance for people who are still undergraduate people, and I would be having different guidance for people who are from a different domain. So that's the reason. So I'll share a format tomorrow. So I expect everyone whosoever is going to continue further to share your details in that format. Okay, I'm not don't worry about I mean, I'm just going to ask about basic details, what's your background, resume and stuff. Many people kind of some people hesitate in a sense that why do we need all these kind of details. So there is nothing fishy in that in this kind of scenario. It just, I need to know my audience, who am I teaching. Yeah, Mr. Bright, go ahead.
Can we get a common platform where we can be communicating, like a WhatsApp group or something?
Good point. I wanted to, so yeah, so we will be forming a Telegram or WhatsApp group or something like that, a common platform where I will be sharing the stuff, the meeting IDs or the material or anything. So yeah, so there would be a common platform where I'll get your numbers and I'll add you. So we'll make a group basically, most probably a Telegram group. Okay. So if you don't have a Telegram, install in your phone. No WhatsApp. WhatsApp is not very secure, and the privacy is also not there. So there are people who might not be willing to share their number with others. So that happens on Telegram. So we will form a Telegram group. Okay. So yeah, so install your Telegram. So this format, you guys have to share your details, and then I'll add each one of you in the Telegram group, and there we'll communicate. And coming back to, once that group is formed, don't expect me to be 24/7 available to answer your queries. Okay, I'm not going to answer because I have my job. I have work to do. So this training is a different thing, but I'm not 24/7 available. I'll answer whenever I see the message, whenever I have time to go through your messages, maybe whatever the queries. I mean, queries you can ask in the class, but then you are doing your self-study, you have certain thoughts, you can discuss among yourselves. I can answer whenever I feel like answering or whenever I have time to answer, but it's not 24/7. Okay, so don't get disappointed. This is the reason I'm saying it today. So yeah, so that's it. I think. Yeah, I think somebody's wanted to say something. I think Ashraf asked a question. Okay. After completion, this can I work as a network engineer at an intermediate level? So Ashraf, I don't remember if you are an absolute beginner or if you have some experience. So yeah, please go ahead, speak up. So what's your background? I don't remember. I mean, there've been a lot of people who, you know. Okay. Okay. Nobody's Karthik. So Ashraf, so what's your background, man?
Actually, I have completed BTech in computer science engineering
Which year?
in 2013.
Which year?
2013. 2013.
Oh, 2013 pass out.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you doing at the moment?
Basically, more professional experience in network industry, but basically aware of networking.
No, that's fine. Are you employed somewhere? Are you working somewhere at the moment?
Yeah, I am currently working.
Okay. In which domain? Telecom?
No. I resigned telecom industry in last April.
Okay, so
I'm
you
currently
don't have any
working in
job at the moment.
Yeah.
Is it? All right.
I'm currently working in security field, but belongs to network department.
Your voice is breaking, but anyway, what I got is that you have a telecom background. You left your job somewhere April last year, and
due to some personal reason, I resigned.
that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Then I come here and search for job. And
That's fine. So yeah. So I mean, there is a way. There is a different approach for everyone at your respective levels. I mean, like I said in the beginning, that's the reason I want to know my audience.
Yeah.
If you are like Ashraf, there is a different guidance for you. And if you are somebody else with certain different background, a different advice for you. So don't worry, Ashraf, you can get, but then, to be honest, not just with CCNA, there are certain things which also you need to learn, and then you can. So guys, don't
also
be.
learn that test in Python, also on classes for the data scientist.
No, your voice is breaking. I can't really hear you. So you can type in chat. I'll answer. And yeah, so when I'm saying CCNA kind of job level, and when I'm saying that no, you can't. I mean, if you're looking at a very low kind of job roles like system admin, service desk, help desk, these kind of roles, you don't even need CCNA. You can get into those kind of jobs. You can try your luck. What generally people without experience after CCNA gets, those are actually monitoring kind of roles. So L1 monitoring, or working as a service desk, where you are the first ones who get the incident tickets, and then you work on those, and then you forward it to the higher teams like L2 teams or L3 teams or the relevant teams. But you don't get to actually execute things. So I don't think anybody needs that in their career. People have to do it depending on their situation, but that's not the career anybody wants. I mean, everybody do it in any kind of situation. So that's basically what should I say? I mean, nobody wants to do it, but they have to do it because of certain problem or whatever the situation they are in. So yeah, so CCNA, like I said, I mean, experienced people can get different things. Again, You have to learn CCNA and then a few things which then you can justify that what you know, what you did. Freshers, again, these kind of the jobs which you can get. So yeah, I mean, if you really want to get into a good job, and if everything is in a good shape at your end, I mean, financially or personally, it's not, very, difficult situation at your end, I'll advise invest 3-4 months in yourself. Okay. After 4 months, you will be in a situation, where you will end up in a job which will give you the right career. So a career is more important than a job, even if you get a low salary in the beginning, but if you get the right job, it's far more better than getting a wrong job with better salary. Okay.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
All right, guys. Any questions?
Hello, Deepak sir.
Yeah.
Sir, audible my voice clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sir, thanks for giving to this free course, sir.
No problem. You're welcome.
Okay. Sir, I have a small doubt. Please clarify my doubt, sir.
Sure.
Sir, I have pursuing BTech 4th year in civil engineering, sir.
BTech in civil engineering?
Yes, sir. But I
Okay.
have interest in cyber security and ethical hacking.
Mm-hmm.
So this course completed after, then I can get job, sir, or any.
All right. So I mean, not laughing at your question, but again, cyber security, ethical hacking, when people don't know how things work in enterprise, ethical hacking, what people think, I'll hack this, I'll hack this, I'll hack this. No, man, this is how things doesn't work in enterprise. So when you have, ethical hacking, let's say for ethical hacking, what people usually do is CEH. I mean, just to start off, certified ethical hacking by EC Council. So what kind of jobs you get? You get into penetration testing, vulnerability assessment, VAPT kind of roles. Okay. And if you go in a later stage where you really want to amazing penetration tester, or if you want to really get your career into that side, then people pursue OSCP, OSC. You can Google these things. These are higher stuff. But then you don't do any sort of hacking in the enterprise. What you do is proactive work. You do threat hunting, threat intelligence. If you know these kind of roles, there are threat hunters, there are VAPT roles, there are SOC analyst roles, where, so let's say this is again, I mean, I'm speaking because you asked this question. Some of you might not know what an enterprise or enterprise network is. So in an enterprise network, there are a hell lot of things which happen. So there are teams. Let's say this is enterprise network of one of your customers. So this is the service provider company, MSSP, again, new word. So this is what happens when I speak, or when this happens, new things gonna come and you might not know. So MSSP is managed security services provider. So you are a company basically. Don't say MSSP. You are a company. You have multiple customers. Okay, you are managing their infrastructure, network security, cyber security, or whatever. So you proactively work on their infra. You proactively work on things which you, as a engineer, as a cyber security engineer, or as a SOC analyst, you check on a proactive level that what is the behavior of network. Are there any sort of penetration or attacks which is happening in my network? So these are kind of jobs what you get when you pursue ethical hacking kind of courses or cyber security in general. So don't expect you are going to hack Facebook or Gmail or email or whatever. That is what people do at personal level. You actually provide security. You secure their systems. You proactively or reactively work on the security. You secure the stuff, that what is the problem in my security posture, how you can mitigate this particular problem, how can you reduce your attack surface, what are the different attack vectors in this environment. So those things comes at a later stage. So don't think of it as that you want to hack Facebook, this, that. No. Enterprise security doesn't work that way. So it's more of defensive things. offensive things you do. I mean, you do penetration, you do offensive things to penetrate and to test that what is open in my infrastructure, what I need to protect. Okay, so that is the kind of roles or jobs what you do, but don't think of it as when I'd say to someone that I'm a security solutions architect, cyber security. What a layman think that I do Facebook hacking, I do Gmail or email hacking and stuff. That is that is a layman understanding, but on an enterprise level, this is not how it works. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And coming to one more point, Ganesh, because you said civil engineering, you are from civil background.
Yes, sir.
This is for everyone. In today's scenario in IT, the beauty of this domain is, I mean, it's a huge domain. There are millions of things to do, millions of things to pursue. This domain doesn't require any background. If you are a BCom, BA, even if you are not graduate, there are people who are not graduate, they have the skills, they have very good skills, and they are making good money. I know I'm from engineering background, but I know hundreds of people. I don't know. I mean, the similar. I mean, it's like I mean, in different countries, it's like BS or what is BCom or Bachelor of Arts. Basically, if you have these kind of degrees or totally non-technical background, doesn't matter. Degree is just a piece of paper in IT these days. It's all about skills. If you have the right skills, you are the man. Doesn't matter. And one more thing. I mean, once this is again one comparison or scenario for Indian people. I mean, let's say some people are from tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 college. Let's say you are not from any IIT and IT, and somebody is from IIT and IT. After getting into the industry, everybody is same. I mean, until you guys are in your college, then those guys are, you can say, superior in terms of the kind of quality they are getting for training or actually the environment. But once everybody gets into the industry, they all are same. You might be doing better than them. So what I'm trying to say is, doesn't matter what is your background. IT is open for everyone. So that is the reason I motivate people that the best kind of jobs these days. I mean, if you want to do a job, I would say get something into IT. It's always, always progressing. You learn, almost on every day, and that is how you progress. I mean, if you do some other kind of jobs, it's monotonous. You do same stuff for years. But here, if you have interest, if you have the zeal, you are doing new thing every day, learning every day. That is how it's amazing domain. I mean, I don't need to speak too much about it, but the idea is you don't need any specific background to get into it. Anybody can work. I know people for pharma. I know people from pharma background. They did their bachelor's in pharma in pharmacy. They are into IT. People from agriculture background, people from medicine background, so many different kind of backgrounds. So IT is amazing. Yeah, guys, any more questions, further questions?
Sir, I am currently working as a telecom domain, and I switched the domain.
Ajay, I remember. Don't worry, it's pretty easy for you. I'll tell you how. I have trained. So one of my relative, he worked in telecom for 10 years. He and his friend, 3 years back, they reached out to me. We are in telecom, but telecom in India, it's really tough. There is no process, there is nothing which is as per process. I mean, employees, I don't, I should not use these kind of words.
This is a 24-hour job,
yeah,
sir.
24/7, and salary is
Yeah,
pathetic. There is no
24
culture,
into
nothing.
7
So they reached out to me, and I trained them for 5-6 months. And yeah, they are mainstream. So for you, it's easier. I'll tell you how it's easier. You can use your existing telecom experience, and then you can get into IT. You can become because Ajay, if you are like 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, whatever years of experience you have in telecom, you can use that experience, and then you can work as a 10 years experienced guy in network or network security. So you will be there where a 10 years a real experienced guy would be there. You can be there, but then there are ways of doing it. Then you need to know what you need to learn, how much you need to learn, how you need to justify. So that's the stuff. Yeah. Any further questions? Go ahead. I mean, today there is nothing
Really, it
we
can be
wanna talk
possible.
about the curriculum. It's just your general queries, and then from tomorrow we're gonna start on the topics. Yep. Go ahead. Somebody was saying something.
It's total, sir, theory classes or also practical labs?
Lab. There is nothing theory. You're not gonna learn anything just by doing theory. You're gonna do
Okay.
labs.
Okay, okay. So
You
both
learn
things are
anything.
parallelly driven.
Huh?
Both things are parallelly.
Yes. 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 Without labs, it's nothing. Useless.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. No further questions. How many people are there? I think some people got dropped off. Yeah, guys, please answer whatever your generic questions are. So we can address them today, and then from tomorrow onwards, we will be on track. What we're gonna learn and what we need to do in CCNA.
Hello, Deepak sir.
Yeah.
Sir, which languages are learned to this course, sir? Like Python, C languages?
Don't think about it. I mean, are you interested in software development?
No, sir. I have a doubt.
What?
My question is, the networking engineer, to become a network engineer, then which languages are required, sir?
None. To become a network engineer, you don't need any language.
Yeah, okay, sure, sir.
But on a very high side, when you have good experience, very good experience, and you want to get yourself into automation stuff, you want to get yourself on DevNet side, you want to get yourself in, software defined networking side, then you can do. At that time, you need stuff like, JSON, Python, those kind of stuff. But at
Okay,
your
sir.
level, I mean, at this level, you don't need anything. Yeah, Mr.
Okay.
Embalo, please go ahead.
Yeah, Dibo, you told you have the packet trace and the other VT. I don't understand that thing. I need to search.
Don't worry. I'll show you what we're gonna do. Okay. Don't worry. It's just have a laptop, install Packet Tracer, and install VMware Workstation. Okay.
Yeah, this I want to know. VRSM. Because the packet trace I already have that because I already make it the lab. I have it. Every day I have the lab. That means.
All right.
I don't have it. Okay.
That's good. So that's all you need at the moment. I mean, Packet Tracer and VMware, and then in that VMware, we are gonna use these different simulators, these latest simulators, which are pretty similar to. I mean, it's almost what you do on a real device. They are better. I mean, you'll have a better look and feel when you do the labs. So you'll feel like you are working on real devices. Packet traces, you'll get certain kind of errors also, not at your level, but if you do, I mean, you can't do everything on packet tracer. If you do advanced labs, not very advanced you can't do, but on an intermediate level, those can't be done on packet tracer. Until CCNA level, it's good, but then not in today's time. That's a old school thing. Yeah, go ahead. Anyone else? Guys, don't again, if you don't have any question, you can ask anything generic. Today we have time. We won't be having this much time talking on generic stuff tomorrow onwards. I mean, some of you did not until now, so feel free to speak up. Again, don't hesitate. Okay. So, I mean, I say this very regularly, and I'm saying it again. Yeah. The very first thing is human interaction. You have to have good human interaction. That is the most important skill in any domain. Yeah, go ahead, Chandan.
Deepak sir,
Yeah.
I have 9-year work experience in telecom sector. Okay.
Okay.
Is it beneficial for me?
Of course it is. It is.
Yes,
It is,
then
Chandan.
how
It is.
much?
I mean,
Then how much percentage is because in telecom sector, career growth is not too good.
I know
in
I know the situation of Indian telecom. I know, even
yeah.
global telecom. I know. I have many friends who are working with me, who were there in telecom for 5, 6 years. I have trained some of my friends and relatives in working in telecom, and then they moved into. So I know the reality. I know the harsh reality, I should say. I mean, telecom in India is it's pathetic. The kind of culture or work what they do, and also, I mean, telecom. One thing which I mean I should not generalize it, but telecom is in today's time. People who are at advanced level, for example, people who are working on 5G, 5GC, people who are working on core or RAN level. Okay,
Yes,
particularly
yes.
people who are working on core level on 5GC, they are the people who are in demand. So I'm working for a
Yeah,
customer.
yeah.
I'm working for European customers. I'm also working as a 5G security consultant and architect of some of my customers, from European customers. So I know in today's time that level of telecom is super hot, super hot.
Yes,
It's an
yes.
amazing market if you are into core. Okay, if you know that
Mm.
advanced stuff, then if you are on a junior level field engineer or RF engineer kind of stuff.
Yeah. In India, most probability all
Yeah.
engineers are the same level.
Yeah, so I mean, when you work with gents like Ericsson or
Yeah, yeah.
Nokia and,
Ericsson,
and
Huawei,
stuff like that,
Nokia.
there you get to know the stuff. So I know, I mean, I also work on telco security side, because like I said, I'm totally from security background, so I do all kind of security, be it network, cyber, telco, cloud, whatever. So yeah, so I mean that particular domain in telco is it's amazing at the current time. I mean it's brilliant, but not for you guys. So yeah, for you guys it's pretty easy to switch from telecom to mainstream networking, pretty easy. But then when I'm saying easy, I know the ways of doing that, because you don't know, you don't have the background, you don't have the skills, so you feel like how we can. It need a little time, a little perseverance, practice, invest in yourself for 5, 6 months, learn. A 5, 6 months, 100%, 5, 6 months of study, of learning, of lab practice can get you from here to there. All it need is
Okay.
dedicated five,
Thank you
6
so much for good hope.
No, it's I am telling you, Ashraf, don't worry.
Yeah, yeah.
Stay around. Yeah, stay connected. I'll tell you how to get there. Okay,
Okay,
guys.
okay. If I can share it to my knowledge, small knowledge for telecom here in the Africa or in the Bissau, in Guinea-Bissau. I working is very how to go. You working very hard, but the thing is the salary depend of the kind of the salary. Because now, currently in my situation, I working for core switch. I start on the knock. I start on the knock team. I working 2 years on the knock. Then I move to roaming.
Okay.
Roaming, I working for roaming them. They see my talent. They give me to working for core switch. I handle all the core switch in our network, core switch.
Okay.
And then the last years, 2 years ago, my chief is already designed, is left to our company. Now he's working in the France. He's working core IP. Now I handle core switch and the core IP, because all of them to come together now. Core switch and core IP. Now I working for core IP. Reach out any training, I make my efforts to get it. I searching a lot of the book, I searching my friends Erickson's guy to show me something, or in the YouTube. Now I know Juniper how to work in Juniper, because I have the router and this switch for Juniper, but I can make that configuration. I can tell, thank God YouTube. Thank God is YouTube, because I get that knowledge for 1 year in YouTube. Now, no who can tell me this thing not working, this thing, because I know how to troubleshooting those things in the Juniper. That means I search it on the YouTube, in the Cisco. I already 3 months or 4 months, I already did it on the Cisco now, the route on the YouTube.
Okay.
Thank God on the YouTube. Yes, that in telecom is very difficult in our side.
I mean, if you know one vendor, you can work on any vendor. It's just a different interface, but the backend technology remains the same. So there is, I mean, when it comes to network or network security or anything, I mean, the way if I talk only about network, it's I mean backend, it's almost similar. It's just different way of executing.
But I think now I'm thinking I focus on the design, architecture design, or how to call them, the project. I want to know the project because indeed when you have the project, I have all the skill for technical skill, but I need the project to deal with the project. That's why my focus on it, project design.
So my advice would be, if you have good experience in operations, then get into projects, because having that experience always helps. I mean, I'm not saying so for my others might not be getting it, but we'll talk about these roles and what actually happens. I mean, in operations, if you do your operations role just from operations perspective, then it's not going to benefit you. I mean, if you do operations, what you actually learn is a lot of hands-on and troubleshooting. But if you have an eye for design, if you have an eye for, understanding how it's designed, how somebody designed it and how it's implemented, then it's always helpful. So whenever you start off, you always think about the design, how it's designed. I mean, we'll talk about all those stuff. So I mean, to your point, Mr. Embalo, I mean, it's yeah, I mean, your point, your approach is right, but I don't know your exact career, how is that been and what's your total experience. But I mean, if you have, I mean, because you are already working on certain things, I mean, like you said, I mean, you're working on core and stuff. So if you have that knowledge, then this approach is fine. That is how your career progression follows. I mean, you work in operations, implementation, get yourself into design, and then have some very good experience in design. Then you get into solutioning. So yeah, so that is how. I mean, we'll talk about all this. Nobody, I mean, people don't talk in the trainings about what happens because they don't know, because they are the people.
Currently, I'm acting manager because you know how the magnet 2 years ago, I was still acting manager for core and IP, who drive the operation, all the operation in the core and the rack. The core and IP, it's me, not who do that. All the design projects come to me to finalize, to acceptance, all these things, to make configuration with Ericsson's team. That means that's why I need to move to go other stepping.
Good. That's a good approach. Great. So yeah, guys, I mean, so that's the benefit. I mean, that's also the benefit of this platform where we are talking and I'm teaching you. People from different background are there. I mean, this is usually not happens at different places at training centers, because people, they usually come make batches, people with zero experience or professional, so you don't get the idea of others, what they are doing in their careers, or the experienced people, what they are doing. So that is that's the benefit of having, or building a community where you get to interact with people, and everybody gets to know the bigger things, and that's how people gets a good growth. Yeah, Ankit, you want to say something?
Sir, which type of job or getting a job after complete this training courses?
Don't worry. I mean, it's too early for you. First, you make understanding. I mean, I spoke about what kind of jobs you can apply for, but again, Ajay, I mean, I know you come from a telecom background, so it's different for different people. So it's totally depend on what kind of stage you are in your career, what not only domain, but also the kind of experience what you have. So I mean, don't think about, I mean, the whole idea of doing any training or and learning anything at the end of the day is getting a job, and that's the primary objective of anyone, and that's how we all think. But like I said, I mean, you'll get to know all those things, though I briefed about it, but you will get to know eventually. I'll tell you what kind of jobs you can apply for, what you should study further. Again, that would be specific. I mean, that would be different for different people. based on their existing or current career stage. So it would be different for you, Ajay. It would be different for Ankit, different for Nirmal, different for different peoples. Yeah.
Sir, many companies wanted to be certified CCNA engineer.
I think I don't know if you dropped off or you joined late. I answered this question that in what kind of scenarios people look for certified people. It just, in certain scenarios wherein they need, I mean, on specific to specific project wherein the customer needs you to be certified. That is not just to justify that you are really a good engineer. It's just a compliance thing for them. So let's say it's sort of paperwork. There are certain things which are mandatory on paper. That let's say if you're working for a banking project, not everybody can work. Not everybody is eligible for a banking project. A banking project means, I mean, it should be. I mean, there comes the law that guy comes from an engineering background. This must be the experience. These are the certifications which he must have. So those are actually compliance rather than actual requirement. So that is where those requirements comes in, and people with certifications, they check all those boxes, whatever is needed. So compliance is another thing. I mean, from layman perspective or from technical perspective. So you can think of that way, but those are very limited. Again, like I said, I mean, you are not working for those limited opportunities or those very limited projects where people need certified people. Like I said, I mean, I think you got dropped off. There are certifications which you can do, which are cheaper, of more value, but not the CCNA. Don't waste your $300 plus taxes on CCNA. Use that money to learn something else. Okay. There are
Okay.
certifications, which I'll
Thank
tell you what you need to do. But people who have certain experience in different domains, or people who already have job, I'll advise to you guys, because you already earning, I'll advise to invest in yourself, invest in your learning. People who don't have any job, people who are freshers, people who are undergraduates are fine. I mean, they still need to complete their graduation, but people who have done their graduation but they don't have any kind of jobs at the moment, don't be hopeless. It just, I mean, for me also it happens, like after 15-18 months after my graduation, I didn't get any job. I mean, I got a job, but then I couldn't join it, so I was jobless like for almost 15 months. But then I invested more than double what I invested during my engineering in myself. During those 15 months, what I learned is what I couldn't learn maybe in two kind of engineerings. I mean, let's say if I do engineering twice, I won't be learning that much what I learned in those 15 months. So I actually enrolled myself for a CCI program. I did not go for CCI, but I learned everything until CCI, and then I, started looking for job, and that is how I cracked my first job. So I am not. This doesn't mean that you need to go to a CCI level. No, you don't need it. But I also got the right mentorship. I've been fortunate. I've been actually very fortunate. I got the right people at the right time in the beginning of my career who guided me right, that this is the stuff what you need to learn. And then I've been extremely fortunate that I always got amazing work to do. I mean, it's very rare, but every time, every company, every project, whatever I did, I was like 5 years ahead of people who were working with me. So when I was working with people who were like, 7, 8, 9 years more experienced than me, they were having experience in terms of years, but then that was not the real experience. I was having more knowledge than them, and I utilized that knowledge with them. There are some very good, amazing people at that time, really amazing people. So I got that, fortunately, and then that is how what I achieved in 12 years. I'm not, bragging for myself, but what I achieved in 12 years, some people don't get it in like 15, 18 years also. And some people do it in 10 years also. So that's totally on what you're doing, what kind of opportunities you're getting, So yeah, so that kind of stuff. So don't worry. I mean, the first thing which you should think at the moment is invest in yourself, invest in your learning rather than anything else. So the biggest investment, I mean, it's again a generic thing to say, invest in yourself rather than investing anywhere. That is the biggest investment. Learn something new. Okay. Anything else? Today we have time to do this chit chat and share our wisdom with each other, or whatever you can call it. On tomorrow, this would be on to the I mean, very to what we're gonna do, to the point. So yeah, so that is where I'm also, allowing you to speak more on your generic stuff, your queries, so you can ask and then make your mind and focus on what we're gonna learn over coming days. Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna share that format, so I expect each one of you to share those details, just to be aware that what kind of audience I'm addressing, what are your backgrounds, so I can I can deliver the best for you. No further questions? There are people who, yeah, go ahead, Sanjay.
How long this training go?
Okay, good question. At least somebody asked that question. So there is no specific timeline. We would be doing at least 30 to 40 hours of training, at minimum, but it could be 50 hours, it could be 60 hours, depending on what I'm teaching you in what depth I'm teaching you. So I mean, when you don't do professional trainings, or when you don't work for a professional training center or training business, you don't really know that how much you want to deliver on this particular topic. So problem, I mean, I won't say problem, but the thing with me is, let's say I'm talking on some topic, can stretch it to a level where you don't need it at this level, maybe, or rather, I mean, it's totally based on whatever comes to my mind. I mean, in a sense, let's say we were talking around certifications, and somebody asked about cybersecurity, and then I spoke about MSSP. But people with this experience doesn't know the term MSSP. I mean, with 2-3 years of experience, or freshers. So I mean, so that is what happens. I mean, if I'm talking, maybe I can talk to a level where it is not really necessary for you, but then it will come out of me because it's natural for me. So I mean, I don't have that, what should I say? I mean, that this is how much I'm going to deliver on this particular topic on IPv4. This is what I'm going to teach. Maybe I can teach you to a level where it could be very advanced. So yeah, so that's, so yeah, I mean, at minimum it would be 30 to 40 hours, but it could be more also.
Yeah, we need to we gain more knowledge. Thank you for that.
Welcome. Guys, there are people, I think there are people who didn't speak a word. So maybe you guys can speak up. If you're hesitating, don't hesitate. Speak up, say something. And yeah, so we are not learning technology wise anything today. But yeah, again, you can ask whatever your doubts, generic doubts or doubts related
Sir?
to this. Yep, go ahead.
So like I was asking that will us be making the projects on the basis of CCNA, like some companies demand for projects while they.
No. So CCNA guy, someone without any experience and having CCNA skills don't get to execute things. in most of the in 99% of the scenario. It can happen you are working for some company and they are out of resources and you are good with the skills. You have some good skills, really good skills, and they don't have resource, and then they might give you the opportunity. But in most of the cases, if you don't have any experience, if you have the CCNA skills, you'll get some monitoring kind of role, but you don't get to execute things. That's, I mean, again, saying this kind of thing is kind of generic, sounds generic, or generalized rather, but I mean that's the usual scenario. So people with experience doesn't have any certification get to execute thing. So if you are like 2 years or 3 years of experience, you will at least get to uh, execute something. But as a fresher with CCNA, no. But yeah, I mean, I know your particular case, so you can utilize certain things to get to that level. So I mean, people just by learning advanced stuff, and they start doing things what people at 5 years or 6 years of experience do or get to do at the beginning level. So that is where this investment in yourself comes. I mean, it really helps. I mean, so if you learn things in the beginning on till a good level, not just on a beginner's level, then that helps. That is all. That is how you progress. I mean, if you are doing what just needed to execute something at a certain level, then you are not gonna progress. No. In today's industry, people expect you to learn anything or whatever the requirement is at the earliest stage, and then so it's like, I know this stuff, I'm the guy for you, rather than I have this deal to learn stuff, I can do anything whatever you ask me to do, and if you give me some training, that comes in handy, wherein certain things and you say, if you have this requirement, if this comes in future, I'll prepare myself. That is okay. But if this is the requirement, and if you say, no, I know this, I can prepare myself, I mean, people don't usually, recruit those kind of people. I mean, I hire a lot of people, I do a lot of interviews. So, I mean, that is how it goes. Yeah. Anyone?
Thank you, sir.
No worries. Thanks.
After this training, can we get any reference from you?
No, I couldn't hear you, Sanjay. Can you please come again?
After this training, can we get some reference from you? Where is the vacancy?
Of course. That I'll help you with. I mean, I'll help you. What kind of I mean, just for jobs, what you need to do, what kind of, maybe, I mean, I'll use my resources so I can help you. I mean, I can ask people if they have openings at your level, if they are hiring. So that I mean, but what usually happens when let's say if somebody approach me for a job reference or referral, so what people at your level or at a lower level, or at a beginner level, don't understand that if I referred you somewhere, then you're gonna chase me. What happened? You referred me. What happened? I didn't get a call. That is how it doesn't work. I'm gonna refer you maybe to some of my friends. They will refer you further. So if they find you suitable, they will shortlist you. They will call you. So it's like it's networking, right? But
Yeah.
I'm not the someone who is responsible for that hiring. So you don't need to chase me. So if that usually happens because
They
people
are
don't
wise.
understand how it happens or how it functions. So people started chasing the guy who actually was trying to help him, and then he gets it. So that is where the I mean, people start getting irritated. So that is where, I mean, I a lot of people, during this, when I posted about the CCNA training, a lot of people reached out to me for referrals. I tried, but they might not have got the call, but then they think I didn't do anything. So I mean, that is how it works.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody? So I mean, guys, I mean, I was expecting more people because a lot of people came up with the, with the interest or showed their interest to join this training. Maybe I think what I did wrong is I think I informed you all with the links on the last moment. I mean, just a day before this training. So maybe if some people might not have checked their mails. So I mean, still until tomorrow, if you have any friends or anyone in your circle who wants to join or who wants to learn, there is nothing what we did today. I mean, though we did a lot, these generic stuff, which again would be repeated here and there during the course. So if somebody wants to join, you can refer them, they can join too. Okay, again, it's free of cost. I'm not charging anything for it. But if you go for paid training again, it's very costly in India, I mean, and you don't get the content what you actually are looking for or what actually is going to make a difference for you. But that's okay. This is for something you can say for the community what I got during my day. So this is my time to offer help to others. Guys, no further
Hello.
questions.
Hello.
Hey, hi, Sarah.
My name is... Yes. After the training, is there a chance for certifying?
I think you joined late. CCNA certification?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so that's what I was, telling others that you don't need to take the CCNA exam. Okay, I don't know. I mean, even on a global, in a global market, is the similar scenario. In India, things are a little different compared to other countries, but still, it's more of a same. I mean, but there is a difference. So I don't advise people to take the CCNA exam because it's $300 plus taxes. You can learn more stuff using that money, and there are certifications which you do. I mean, in $350, you can train in higher technologies with certifications, which will justify that you are a superior guy or girl or engineer with, more advanced skills. And with this certification, it's obvious that you have CCNA skill. So what I'm trying to say is that if I'm good at English, at written English, let's say if I'm writing a book, which means I have great writing skills, that automatically justifies that what kind of beginners level, I mean, that justify my level basically. So what I'm trying to say is, for example, let me give you one example. For example, if you get into network security, so there are different vendors in network security. Let's say Checkpoint, Palo Alto, FortiGate, Cisco, Juniper. Let's say you do one Checkpoint certification, or let's say you do one Palo Alto certification. So if you do Palo Alto firewall certification or Checkpoint firewall certification, that means that you know firewall technology, which is basically network security, which means you know network routing and switching. So in that case, it automatically justifies that you know CCNA stuff. So you don't really need CCNA certification. So use your money in the right place or in a better way to learn more and do better.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Guys, no further questions, then I think we can stop for today. Today was just an introductory class, get to know each other, and then from tomorrow onwards we're gonna start.
Please share the content of this course, complete course.
I don't know, I mean, so one more, that's gonna follow, Ajay. So guys, one request, I mean, because there are questions which came to me. I mean, a few of you asked me what people asked me earlier, so maybe I don't know if you got dropped off or what. If you're joining this class, make sure you have good internet connectivity so you don't get dropped off. Okay, you'll get all the material and everything as we progress. Okay. So yeah, anything else, or shall we call it up for today?
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Great.
So I think no further questions. Then yeah, let's.
How do one question? That
Yeah,
is
go
not
ahead.
yes, because I think my colleague they don't want to give a question, but I will take for them. Okay, my question: how you think about the computer cloud? How you think?
Cloud?
Because I think computer cloud. I think the last time, the last years, I see virtualization on the network. They have come the virtualization on the network. How you think about the computer cloud now?
No, I don't get your question. What do you mean by computer cloud?
The virtualization, of the RAID, the network.
Virtualization of network is already there. It's happening. It's been years. It's already there. It's already in place since many years.
Yes, but in our site, these years we start in the virtualization our core network and the core IP, all of them to ZT.
See, what happens is, I mean, it's totally depends on your organization, what kind of business you are in, what you're doing.
My question: how you think about this? How the relation with the CCN and Cisco?
No,
How do you
I
think?
mean, see. So after a certain year of experience, it's not about the vendor. Okay, it's about the technology. Nobody talks about the vendor, what vendor you are going with, or what sort of vendor you are deployed. So I mean, at this level, I think it's not relevant for you. You can, I mean, because you have certain years of experience and you're already doing certain things, so you can think of it while others can't. But you know, I mean, virtualization it's already there. There is no relation with CCNA. I mean, there is relation. I mean, at the end of the day, it's networking. What you are learning at the moment is ABC. Okay, to put it it as that way. I mean, you are learning just ABC, and then after a certain point, if you are good with English, then it's just the advanced form. Somebody comes up with the accent, somebody comes with good writing, somebody comes up with spoken, good spoken. So I mean, things are interconnected. So what you are going to learn at the moment is on a hardware infrastructure level. Then how these things get virtualized, how we go, how should I put it for you? So basically, at the moment, you are learning things on an infrastructure, on a hardware infrastructure level. But then again, how it happens on a cloud or in a virtualized environment. I mean, the overall idea remains the same, but in virtualization, a few things. I mean, not just a few things. Many things change. Many things. There are many different things which you need to learn. So I mean, if you are thinking of doing virtualization and stuff, you have a lot of time to do that. I mean, you have a long journey to reach there. So I mean, it's already there. It's already there since many years, but now it's more of like every organization, every enterprise in a way is doing it. I mean, here and there, based on what kind of business they are in or what kind of customers they are working for. So yeah, it's again business to business, enterprise to enterprise. You might not. I mean, I'm not sure if I answered your question to the level what you were expecting, but then this is the answer what I have at your level.
So shall I add this? Add something to this?
Sure, go ahead.
Right now I am also studying about the cloud, and it is CCNA is totally related to that. Like we will study route tables and subnetting and all that things in CCNA, and we will apply that on cloud because we have to make subnets and route tables for the interconnection in the internet gateway protocol and NAT protocols. So we have to apply these learning from here to there.
So I mean, that's good, Ankit, and that's actually right on a beginner or intermediate level, but very deep in cloud, things are really different. Okay, in the back end, people who manage that infrastructure, for example, people who manage AWS infrastructure, or people who manage GCP, I mean Google Cloud Platform or Microsoft Azure. For you or for somebody who's accessing that infrastructure, working on it for let's say for making your network, then it's similar. But on a deeper level, somebody who has built that infrastructure or who manage it for their customers, the backend is, I mean, things are totally different. Not 100% different, but very different on it. I mean, we don't need to talk about that stuff at the moment. You won't get it. But yeah, I mean, again, the curiosity is what you need, or what you always need to learn and know newer things. So yeah, good. Any further questions? No? All right, guys, then I think we are good for today. And from tomorrow, we're gonna start with what we're gonna learn throughout this CCNA program. And yeah, so yeah, keep yourself ready for the journey, and good that you're utilizing this opportunity to learn the stuff. Utilize as much as you can, come up with the questions, and again, it will be only useful if you do as many as labs you can do. So lab practice is everything. It is everything. So somebody who has done a lot of net practice is gonna execute it better on a real day in a real match, rather than somebody who hasn't done any sort of net practice. He can't face, or will always be, uncomfortable doing the real stuff. So by practicing, you also build your muscle memory. That's another thing. I mean, you run commands like anything. So that's another aspect. But then the idea is, the more you practice, the more you learn. Because when you do the lab yourself, you will make a lot of mistakes, and those mistakes will help you learn. Okay. So thank you, and all the best again. See you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, Deepak.
Bye, sir.